I just had one of those days when normal probability seemed to be way out of whack, and the chances of things happening just seemed hard to believe. My activity was to do some slope soaring off of a slope that I had to hike about 2,000 steps. Not far into my hike, and I spotted this black squirrel. A couple of weeks ago, I'd seen a black squirrel, but there can be a year go by with me not seeing a black squirrel, even though I go hiking all the time. So I flew this little glider known as a V-tail, which has an electric motor, about a 30-inch wingspan. It's not real efficient at soaring, but it's something that I don't care about a whole lot, and it was easy to carry. This area of slope has had a lot of the brush cut down, but there's still a lot, and I seem to find it when I go to land. If the wind is just in the correct direction, it can travel between the bluffs here, and you get a lot of wind right at this spot. But if it's coming across the bluff here, there's another bluff on the other side that seems to be blocking it. So I use the electric on this glider to get away from the hill and above the little trees and try to catch some slope lift. Well, this was my first launch, and I should have kept the electric on to get it higher. It seems like it was bouncing around a lot, and I kept thinking I'm going to catch more lift, and I didn't, and I was slow getting on the throttle, and I was stuck in a tree. I've got a long pole, but I didn't bring it along because I had enough to carry.
Yeah.
And I hadn't tried too long, and this
pole.
hiker comes down, and he offers to help me. He climbed up the small tree. It was real easy for him. I just don't climb trees anymore if I can absolutely avoid it. So he climbs up there and shakes the branch,
Sure,
and the
go
plane
right
comes out, and
Thank
no
you.
damage at all. So I insisted he got a small reward, and I gave him a few bucks, and he took off, and I tried flying again. I got up higher this time, and at times the lift was fairly good, but it didn't seem to last. I think the wind was being blocked too much, and it was light at times and strong at other times, so I really struggled to stay up for an extended period. Well, I decided I was going to try to land, but I didn't really plan it out too well and find a nice path through where I wouldn't go into the brush. And what happens, but I landed in another tree. But luckily this is really a pretty small tree, and it was in a low enough branch. Didn't have to wait for another hiker to come along and climb up the tree. The spot I fly from most often doesn't have much room to land, but I know pretty much just how to set up the landing and how much room I have to turn, and I've got it pretty well. Well, here I managed to get it down with this stick. It took a while longer than you see in the video. So after this, I made one more launch and flew around for a short time and made another landing and had it planned out good and landed close to the ground. I just didn't want to think that every flight I made, I landed in a tree. After this, I did some more hiking, and I ran into my new hiker friend, and it turns out where he lives, I knew another guy that flew radio control, and he knew that guy well, so what a coincidence. I hadn't seen this other guy for like 20 years, and like 3 weeks ago, I happened to see him in Winona at a restaurant. I wouldn't have known him, but he recognized me and came over and said hello. So as I went further in my hike back, I ran into three guys that were about my age, and they saw me carrying a model airplane and talked to me for a while. And one guy, he had flown a PT-19 trainer as a kid, and he also had a little jumping bean. He had told me that he had some 049 engines, and that's why I showed him these pictures of my control line planes. And another one of the guys, he knew this gentleman who I used to fly with. He has since passed away. Well, I thought it was just a great day that I got in some hiking and met people that were also into model aviation and hiking. Model glider is not still stuck in a tree.